So yesterday I put up a tier list video talking about Cahooks' best singles and worst singles in my opinion. And I find myself oftentimes when making this type of content, I often find myself saying in my opinion or that's just my perspective. Um, and I posted a supercut of one of my hot takes and I put it up on Instagram. I put it up on TikTok as well, but Instagram got very, very saucy. Um, Somebody wasn't happy with my opinion, which is more than okay. And their reasoning, I'd leave that a little bit more up for debate. But people very quickly hopped in and kind of defended me and then also defended this person. And it kind of went back and forth between quite a few people. I also got a phone call or a video call from one or two people from the scene discussing it as well, since they seen kind of the controversy. By the way, this is not a major thing. I just thought I'd make this a talking point because I feel like this may be a good time to do so. So let me make this very clear before continuing. This is not a major thing. I just want to use it as a prompt to touch on this because I've been wanting to touch on this for a minute now. And the question that we are going to center our discussion around is it okay to have a controversial opinion? The reason I say controversial because it's very easy to fit in with the masses and go with what everyone else is saying. So in a day and age now where we have cancel culture, if I say and turn around and say, Mr. Smith over here is now cancelled, it's very easy to go with everyone else and say, yeah, dude, he's cancelled as well. And it's also very easy to perhaps uh, like a polarizing character and then find safety in a large group of people within also doing so. And that can be a positive or negative thing depending on how you see it. What I like to emphasize on a very regular basis is make up your own mind, form your own opinion. Of course, we are influenced by the media and a lot of other aspects of life around us. You know, we are heavily influenced by the things that we take in and our environment. And in the case of social media and YouTube and even gaming, Netflix, etc., you kind of choose what to surround yourself by. Ultimately, if I don't want to take something in, I don't watch it, I don't follow it, I don't go back and click on it. Ultimately. But the truth is, we do stumble across things and sometimes we have an opinion about it. Now, in my scenario, I choose what I take in, especially when it comes to this music stuff. I get hit up with a lot of stuff and then I pick and choose what I would like to cover, whether that be YouTube or whether I just choose to listen to it in my own time or not. And in this case, I chose to listen to a certain song and I chose to dig it out. Like, yeah, I did not enjoy the remix of this song, which to be named is the Mbappe remix. Um, and yeah, it was named that I didn't like J1's verse. Now, because I was quite heavy-handed in the way I've worded it, some people did not seem to like this whatsoever. That's okay to disagree with me. And I feel like it's actually a good thing if you disagree with me and can articulate your reasons why. Now, does that necessarily mean that I will agree with you? No, that doesn't mean I have to. But am I open-minded to having my mind being changed? Of course. I have openly documented it when I have gotten things factually wrong before. And I've even had my mind changed mildly or to a certain degree over certain songs, verses, artists, whatever it may be, based on somebody else's opinion because they've worded it in a certain way that has resonated with me, that maybe I've understood, and yeah, it may change my opinion. And equally, there's been plenty, and this is more so the case, there's plenty of times also where people form their opinion and I will agree to disagree, or I'm like, here's my reasoning that now challenges you. I think that's perfectly okay, in my opinion. Ironically, the whole discussion of today, in my opinion, it's okay to disagree with someone. But I do think there's a way of going about it. If you're going to argue with someone in the comment section, or if you're going to debate with someone in person, call them out on something. Yes, and if you see flaws or holes in their logic, yes, I would also call them out on that. Would I revert to racism, sexism, any kind of ism or schism? No. And I will kind of say that maybe people should think twice before making a comment like that. Now, am I saying the world needs to become a totally peaceful place and we all need to be pacifists? No, sometimes someone just needs a slap round the side of their head. And I'd be a fucking hypocrite if I was to sit here and say, don't say anything mean to anyone. At the end of the day, this all stemmed from me turning around and saying someone's verse was shit. But as much as I may dislike something, I'm not going to turn around and use any of those isms or schisms to, I don't know, fuel my argument any further. If anything, I think it takes away from it. If you can come across intelligent, come across thoughtful in a lot of ways in your argument, then I think it holds a lot more weight than you just turn around and saying, hey, you. Hal gave a very interesting opinion in the comments within saying that he wasn't sure who it was about, but he does think it's important to be honest. And it's also important to remember that art is subjective. Like, not everyone is going to think the same thing. And I agree with him. And I also think that we should get way, way more comfortable in accepting that there's going to be criticism. The Oz hip hop R&B scene is very, very small and it's going to grow. I really do believe it's going to grow. And with it growing and that being a positive thing in many ways, there are going to be some negatives that come with that. One of them being you can't control what the media will be, and you are definitely not going to be able to control people's opinions, especially as there are more and more people within that industry now, or at least following that industry or tapping into that culture, however you want to word it. But the long and short of it is there are going to be more opinions and they are going to get more and more outrageous as time goes on. When you look at what the media is, a lot of the media that cover this scene are controlled because it's either a Triple J or it's a radio station or it's, you know, some sort of platform where people's opinions have to be controlled to a certain extent. This is my platform. I throw up whatever the fuck I want. And maybe some people that have been following this scene for years are conditioned to, well, conditioned opinions. They are used to hearing formulated opinions that may be controlled. And I think that's why you have polarizing characters such as Cursor that really break through because it goes against the grain of what being controlled is. You look at 1-4 and what they did. And yeah, exactly the same thing. It is not liked at first. It's controversial at first. It's polarizing and people don't know what the fuck to do with it. And you can go one of two ways with it. You can either really enjoy it and love it for how free and open it is, or you can look at it as, oh, well, we've never had this before, so how dare you do this? I'm looking at opinions as exactly the same thing. Now, when a negative opinion comes through, it's, oh, well, we're not allowed to have this because we don't normally have this. I think that needs to change. Now, let me make two things very clear off the back of that. One, that doesn't mean I'm going to run around now saying that everything is terrible. I'm not going to run around saying, oh, you see my man, yeah? He's dead blood. See him? Whack. That's not how we're going to operate going forward. And secondly, this opinion was about the UK artist on the Aussie remix. So again, context is important. I understood by throwing up a 30-second clip, there was going to be just that little bit of mystery of, oh, who's this about? I didn't expect it to cause this much discussion. Discussion is a big driving point of my channel. I love discussion. It's why I'm making this video now. But at the same time, I want that discussion to be healthy for the most part, and as much as I can possibly control that, because equally when I'm saying that you can't control me, I understand that I can't control what you lot say. I would encourage for people to word things in a certain way. I would encourage people to maybe go a little bit lighter on the isms and schisms. But at the same time, if you want to voice your opinion, go for it. Like, don't be afraid to say, Chaz, I disagree with you because X, Y, Z. Or you see someone in the comment section and go, look, I disagree with you because 1, 2, 3. Equally, if you agree with someone, tell them that you agree with someone. If you agree with what someone said, like that comment, you know? I also agree with that kind of engagement. Just don't kill each other. Yeah? How about that? So yeah, I'll leave that discussion here because we could definitely go way, way deeper into it. And maybe this would be a good conversation to have with somebody as a back and forth, as opposed to me as an individual by myself. Um, but yeah, with that in mind, I will leave you on one final question. Is it okay to have a controversial opinion? Is it okay to criticize a form of media, a form of art? And if so, is there a certain way to go about that?